time for Music Alive. We got some very special guests in the studio right now. This your weekend boy, DJ Jazz, holding down the fort. Of course, if you are streaming us live right now, kuhsdenver.com, you will see to my left, I got Henry Archuleta.
Oh, I thought to your left. I had this problem earlier. I was doing to my right.
See,
So
bro,
I'm pulling
see what
right, pulling
happens?
left.
See what happens?
You know what happens when you get to be this age, right? You start having more fun, DJ.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let them know who we got in the studio with us today for the latest and greatest edition of Music Alive.
Does he go by Art or does
Is
he
it
go
Art
by?
or Chris?
Well, it's been that way forever. So, like, you can call me Art, you can call me Chris. Just don't.
I know him by Chris and I know him by Art.
It's Chris Art Herrera.
That's it.
There
Chris
you
Art
go.
Herrera.
Yeah.
Denver,
Yeah.
Colorado. Everybody knows Chris.
Yes.
Everybody knows Art. Everybody knows Artie. They used to say they used to call him Artie.
They call me Artie Guitardi. That's what they call me. Yeah.
That's a good one.
He remembers all the good times we've had, all the bands he's played with. We're going to start this show off. Of course, you're listening to the Music Alive show here on www.kuhsdenver.com. Everybody's been listening to this new station, of course, because the prodigy of Denver is with me, DJ Jess. Of course, he had yesterday sitting in old school.
Old school flying to take that jet to California.
Yeah, having a good time with
think
what
so.
happened with that deal.
You know, it's some family drama between the Salas brothers, Rudy and Steve of Tierra, but hopefully they
It's all cool.
yeah, hopefully they took care of me, man.
And it's not like here in Denver, we got we got Art Herrera in the house, and
Mhm.
he used to go through some drama with some of the bands all the
Oh,
time.
I can only
There's always,
imagine.
tell us, Chris, start when you were young. Tell us how, you first started, stealing musical instruments from some of the locals, and no, because you wanted to play,
Yeah, we all had to go out and we borrow the school instruments, and they'd say return the instruments when you can, and then hopefully then over the weekend, but we would keep them, and
And that was the good thing about it. You'd have no, and that's true. And that, to them, they thought we were taking their stuff. We weren't. Everybody did that art. You'd have to go borrow the, either guitar, saxophones, whatever you had to do. The trumpets.
we had to use our library card or something
and,
like
and
that.
have a good time doing certain things. And so, in the variable of everything, what was one of the first bands you ever got together with?
One of the first bands was back in that was Rhythm Express band back in '79 with Tim Salazar and Dale DeAragon and Richard Martinez. A group of guys from West Denver. We started way back then, and those memories always linger on. Always, always. The time goes by so quick, and that was one of the first bands I started with, is Rhythm Express band.
And we have a lot of pictures from back in the day. You remember all the pictures, all the fun times we had with. Tell us about Rhythm Express. That was one heck of a good group back then. Everybody would get together. They do their different variables and things. And Rhythm Express, you had changes of personnel, but after you got that core going, let us know who was all in the group.
Yeah, we had Dale DeAragon. We had Tim Salazar was actually the leader of the group. We were all young back then. I think there was a Jason Carter who played trombone. And we had Hubba Hernandez playing the drums. Like you said, we did. We went through a few different musicians, but Tim and I, we kind of were the core of the group, and we had a guy named Mark Mondragon playing trumpet, and Richard Martinez actually played the trumpet, and Mark played the sax.
So they had a change of name. It was Mondragon. I thought it was Mondragon.
Well, Mondragon, there we go. He says Mondragon because he's one of those people you don't pronounce the
Pronunciation.
Yeah.
So
They
you
call
gotta
it
say it like
pigeon.
that for the white people.
Yeah.
Now, here's one thing we want you to know, and this is interesting. We found this out as we started doing our online radio station, is that all over the world, there's all these variables. And so there's people all over the world listening to us right now. And so the common Spanish language is heard more than ever around the world.
Mhm.
And that's why we
And that's why we have all these Spanish-speaking countries, Spain, a lot of Turkey, but we get a lot of the Latin American countries as well, South America and stuff. So, like we said, you are being heard all around the world right now. We got Turkey on board, Hungary, the Netherlands, Salt Lake City,
Oh, of course.
Utah, of course, Romania. So all around the world, they came to hear your story, bro.
So don't forget that, and here's your streamer right here, and you're being broadcast right here.
Alrighty.
So you have somewhere out there, somewhere.
If they can only have seen the rain outside, it was like
Oh,
pouring, cats
man.
and dogs.
Well, I told Jesse to go outside with a bottle of ketchup, and he just looked at me kind of funny. I go, "Yeah, it's raining cats and hot dogs." And so, come on, bro, stop it. You know. It's like-
Lightning actually hit the car, the limo out there,
and that's why it looks so shiny.
yeah, it bumped it up for me. So
And go ahead, let's continue on. Rhythm Express, and you went on to a couple other groups, you know.
yeah.
Tell us about it. You've done some fun things, and I remember you being in some of the groups that we've done some fun things. You got just spill your guts, man.
You know, I have a cousin that played with Jamaica back then, so we could, had ties with all the other bands. My ex brother-in-law Louis Chavez played with Stratus. He was married to my sister for a while, and yeah, we had a lot of good times back. And all the band members, we intermingled with each other. Sometimes how you can't really get to see each other because you're always gigging somewhere, and they're always gigging somewhere. And the only time you can really meet up is maybe like at a function or a jam session or something like that. But back then, we were pretty young. We were 21 years old, 21 years old. I had to have, some of us had to have a little parents' permission to go play. We played at a place called Caesars on First and Santa Fe.
Everybody remembers Caesars. Yeah, and they'd have the after hours parties too from 2 to 5, didn't they?
Oh, we played till 4 in the morning sometimes. Back then it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, tell me something else here. It's like, you were with all these different groups and stuff. What was one of your favorite groups that you got to play with?
Well, I really liked playing with Starshine, the band.
And we remember Starshine clear as day. And you remember the one show you got to play in. We all remember that show because the band that you played with and opened up for was here in town. And Jesse was out there interviewing. He says, "I really want to meet this guy." It kept us waiting for freaking ever.
Yeah, we hurried up and wait that night.
We watched paint dry.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You were responsible for that. Had the Archuletas brought in Confunction, and we did the concert down at the Paramount Theater, which was a good show.
Yeah, that was it was 2 shows there. We did we added the second show because the first show sold out right away because that's when Confunction had that really nice album that they brought out, and they were really, really popular at that point.
Yeah, well, I gotta hand it to you guys. Your brothers have helped the local musicians and your family. Back to Los Once Hall way back in the day.
And I was talking to earlier. It's funny you're saying that because I was talking to Paul Chavez, and he don't remember Los Sunset Hall.
Paul Chavez don't remember Los Once Hall.
He does not remember Los Sunset
Yeah,
Hall.
well, he's from Brighton, Colorado, right?
I says, well, you probably always got beat up when you came to Los Sunset Hall. You'd hide under the car because they were kicking your butt. So it was one of those deals. So if he's listening in, it actually wasn't him. It was Danny Uliberry that's getting kicked. He'd be hiding underneath the car.
He still is, no?
Yeah, he's still hiding underneath the car at the jam last night that KUHS was co-sponsoring last night.
Yeah, I do want to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it was the Chili Pepper, and that thing was jam-packed to the gills, and you want to see another event like you used to see. Up and down the streets, packed with cars. The place was full. It was just jam-packed, actually. The only one that got to miss it was DJ Jess. We were streaming live, but we really had some tough times because they didn't have no Wi-Fi or anything to stream out of, so I went and hacked into the liquor store's Wi-Fi. We still got
You
somewhat
gotta
of a
make
stream.
do with what you gotta
Yeah,
do.
it's like, Jesus, I want to catch this. But we caught some of it. It was kind of nice. We didn't see you there.
Well, I don't know. Where
We
was I?
invited you.
You invited me?
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it must have made a left when you told me to make a right.
And I keep doing it.
Yeah.
So Starshine, who was in the band in Starshine?
We had Tony Alcaraz, Gil Celis was playing keyboards. Tony Alcaraz was on the drums. We first started with a guy named Michael Thompson. He was playing the drums at the very first band. And we Gil Celis one more time. I and Art Martinez was playing sax. And Anthony Acevedo was up front playing the sax also. Real good band, cover tunes. We played the songs to the T. We had a lot of people back then, coming out to see us at Rachel's, the old Rachel's on 52nd and Sheridan.
And that one was a really nice race. That was a 500-seater nightclub, big, huge place. Everybody loved playing Rachel's nightclub, and she required that you bring in some big bass bins and all the nice equipment to make sure to cover that room because it was so big. And so you remember Rachel's exclusively, right? Everybody played Rachel's.
Yeah, yeah, we were there for 2 years with the Starshine Band, and throughout the years, all of the musicians, we make our rounds, and I probably played with maybe 10 different cover bands within a 10-year span. They're all friends. We're always buddies. We always acknowledge each other when we're out there and we see each other. I have to mention one thing. The Archuletas were out there from the beginning. What was the name of your production company?
Archuleta
Archuleta
Productions.
Productions. Yeah, at the Los Once Hall was. I remember when that was before I even started playing. I think it was back then, and I said, "Gee, when you guys gonna book me in here, man?"
Yeah, I remember all those. Those are good times. And I was telling Paul Chavez that that was the launch of a lot of people's careers. And even some of the groups that, or the trumpet player, like he went with Casey and the Sunshine Band. There's a lot of people who went with a lot of big groups. A lot of them took, turns for the worse, went into drugs and alcoholism, and it just killed them dead. And that hurts a lot of people's careers, especially in the music business.
Yeah, and it's still happening too. So
Yeah, because after I recovered from being I've never been an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And Jesse's an alcoholic now, so he said he started drinking ever since he started
ever
working
since I
with me.
started here, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he tells me.
Thank God we got a brewery right behind us, man.
It is funny, Art, because we always started with young people and go through their career with them, and that's how DJ Jess is right here. He's having a good time. He says, "I want to be into something like this," and so here he is, and now we're corrupting his poor little mind.
Well, he's got a lot of catching up to do, how old are you, Jess? You're a pretty young fella, aren't you?
How old do I look?
Let me see. You don't look a day over 18.
He
God's
gets it
on the dot.
right on the he knows.
But you know
Ooh.
what? Yeah, my parents, they're old school all the way. They're a little bit older, so they had, I was the surprise baby per se.
Oh, well.
But they raised me on all the good music and all the good. I was going to Cinco de Mayo with my dad ever since I could remember. So I got, I know my old school music, and so if it wouldn't have been for Henry, like most of us, none of us would be here. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I'm having a good time doing this. I don't know if this is
you
a
are, man.
calling.
You have more fun than most of us.
No, everybody else. I have all the fun. I don't know if this is my calling or whatever, but this is the
This
fun
is it.
thing. This is it. I've been doing this and dreamed up this thing, so that's why we're doing this now.
Absolutely, and today, we have the one and only Chris Herrera. For those of you listening or streaming us live, you are tuned in to the latest edition of Music Alive. We took a little break there because of the holidays and stuff, but we are back and we got so much more to do with this show. So
But you had us everywhere, though, DJ Jess.
we were everywhere.
You took us to Cinco de Mayo. You took us to
We went to Longmont,
Conkin's. What's the name of
Dickens.
that place? Dickens
Opera House.
Opera House. I can't even
We
remember.
went to the Casbah. We were all over the place. So glad to be in the studio and back home.
Now it was nice that you got to, and I was telling Jesse about interviewing Confunction, and then here you are, Art, back in here, and you got to be up there with Confunction when they were all young. You guys were all young, and
Yeah.
man, everybody was on fire, and they still sound just as good, and they did a great job. Every time they come to town, they do a fine job. And so, tell us about your axes. I know you have your love, just like BB King just died.
Yeah.
His axes were always named Lucille. So I know you have your favorite axes. I seen one up there on Facebook and just sitting there, and everybody's salivating all over their screens. Like, look at that nice axe right there.
I call that one Crystal. My wife Lavina says, "Well, when are you going to name one after me?" And I said, "Well, I got one. Just I'm not going to let you know when."
But then if you name one after her, you'll always have to be petting it and touching it and strumming it
That's got to be your favorite.
and filling it all up and down, right?
Well, she threatened to kick my guitar out if I kept paying attention.
That's funny. And so, is that your only axe, or you have more than one?
I play keyboards now too. I've got some Roland keyboards. I have a Fender Stratocaster. I have a Telecaster, and I have a '64 Strat. It's a really valuable guitar. It's put away. I don't play it that much. It's a value worth quite a bit. I like I say, I switched to keyboards also. So I play a lot of keyboards and write my own stuff, and it's come a long way from back then. I've been wanting to do this for years. When you start out young, you're playing cover tunes. You get a little, twinkle in your eye. You want to you want to try to get up there and go on tour and stuff like that. And life goes the way it goes. I stopped for quite a few years, and like they say, get a real job. But this is a real job, and actually, something I hate for anybody to use that get a real job, because this is a profession that people should take serious, and and execute it. Go for it. Follow your dream there,
Right.
and you
You
can.
might not be making a lot of money, but
You,
sure
well,
will pay off.
it does. It pays off. But I kept playing a little on the side when I put it, I put playing with the bands away. But I'm back at it, and it's been a little slow climb back up, and I'm working on a CD now called Crystal Blue, and you guys will hear it soon, and maybe you can invite me back, and we can do some
Oh, yeah.
promotion on it.
Of course. So let's bring us to the future. What are you doing now? Are you still playing with the band? Are you?
I've been freelancing with a few groups.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing some promotional stuff. As a matter of fact, I have a show coming up on June 6th. I'm doing a talent showcase. A group from Commerce City. They're called New Youth. They're a Latino band. They play punk music, and I'm playing with I've got the Crystal Blue band myself, and we're gonna be doing a couple of my covers. I'm not ready to show them all. Excuse me, we're not gonna show the whole CD, but and then there's another band called Surprise, and
Is it a big surprise?
it's a big surprise. Everybody's like, surprise. What is this? A surprise, or is that the name of the group? I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you.
It's a
So
surprise.
You got to come down and find out.
Now, also another good thing, Art, you guys you sometimes sub in with other groups. I know you were playing over at it's a winery, and you were playing with Robin and his lady there. So tell us about that event. It looked like a lot of people said they seen you there, and I said, really, how'd they sound? They sounded great. Tell us about that event.
Yeah, well,
That's a cool little event that they have going there.
yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, I was going to take the band Crystal Blue in there, and Paul's the owner of the wine company, is going to let me know when he's got an opening. But I'm going to play. I played with Robin. Robin Garcia's got a good band, Tasty Grooves, him and Annie. And we went down there, and we kind of did a trio thing. And Robin set up the keyboards to where he sequenced the drums, and Annie went out front. And it was just actually Robin and I and Annie. We did a three-piece thing. And the clientele there is that they're great people. We have a broad broad range of the genres. Goes from country to rock and roll to jazz and stuff.
And what's nice about that place, they pull up their the food trucks, and they have something to eat too. We can
Yeah,
drink wine, cop a good buzz, have something to eat, listen to some good music. That's what's nice about that event, right?
Yeah, it is. They pull up the garage doors, the wine vats are right next to you, so
You can just suck on the wine vats.
Yeah, well,
I don't. When I drink wine, I don't drink those X. I drink those tetas.
yeah, you can put some nipples on them.
If only they
the
really
vats.
do.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Best
boy.
part about internet radio, you can say and do whatever you want here on KUHS.
Well, I do. That's for sure.
You do anyway, bro.
Well, what the hell? I'm only here for a short while, not a long while.
That's what it's about, man. Having a good time.
The ex was looking for me. Not my ex-wife. The ex is the
The ex, yeah.
on your calendar when it's your turn to go. And
Yeah.
so it couldn't find me. I was hiding in the basement. I was all pedo and shit. Go to Chili Pepper all night long, think you're all young and shit.
Then
And come
you gotta
home.
come back up, yeah. You and Paul both, they got to come in.
Yeah,
every-
and Danny.
So yeah, I understand. You got to start drinking old duels, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah, non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Ever since I quit drinking, it takes me a 12-pack to get drunk.
I'll tell you what. The wine. Speaking of the wine company, the wine. I think it's a good drink for people to moderate themselves, and then
And you just told us, open up the doors and there's 2 vats.
But,
Oh, yes, is that the moderation?
well, let me tell you something.
After you start jamming with Art, where's the vats, bro?
We used to say, the more you drink, we'd go on break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. The more you drink, the better we sound.
Then you sound like Art Sosis, Timmy-osis,
We're just trying to cover for. We're really not that bad.
Tony-osis.
Tony Osis. Yeah. Oh, Tony Osis. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the one. Well, we can't forget.
I remember all the
Tony's.
Osis. You guys had your osmosis. It was
Yeah.
like, I remember that. You guys used to call yourselves
Osis, Artie Osis, Tony Osis, Timmy Osis. Yeah, we
You
were the.
remember all that, right?
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah,
You
back
guys
then.
had great little groups, and so all the groups that you've been around. Now, now you also got to share with us this promotion. You've gotten into promotions too. What's the name of your promotion?
It's called Oasis Entertainment.
Now you say that all the time, but you always have these chicks all over the freak. What is it? You're promoting these fine chicks, or where are they at?
Oh yeah, well,
They're calendar girls. I mean, what is that
I'm, I'm,
about?
I'm I'm promoting bands and groups and talent, but we're kind of crossing. We're doing the music talent, and if we get into the model thing, I think I'll have to let my wife take that part of it.
But here's the bad thing. Every time you bring me around, though, you'll say that sure is a cute pink tie you're wearing, and I'll tell you that's my tongue hanging out. So don't do those shows no more, Art. I mean,
Okay,
it's like,
yeah.
Judas Priest.
Well, we'll focus on the musicians, and we'll keep the modeling back a little bit. And this next June 6th is going to be at the Tennyson Tap on 38th and Tennyson. It's
It's an afternoon gig, right? It's a barbecue kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll have a barbecue there. It's from 2 to 6 p.m. And like I say, I'm doing I just jumped in the promotions a little bit. When I got back into music, I did a benefit at the what's it, Oriental Theater for James Torres was a little sick, and we had a great turnout. There, musicians that you wouldn't believe showed up.
Yeah, that Oriental Theater is becoming a hotspot for
Mhm.
good talent.
After they redid it and
And who's
everything.
coming to the Oriental Theater there, Jesse?
July 25th, we got the Sounds of Black and Brown featuring Midnight Star. I'm gonna be there opening up the show, so make sure you come out, show your support, get your tickets.
Midnight Star at the
Yeah.
Oriental.
Midnight, those are my buddies.
No, come on, tell me again. Midnight Star at the Oriental.
Midnight Star at the Oriental.
And now
Theater.
here's what I find interesting. Everybody gets invited but me. You guys trying to tell me
Because
something?
you're always there with your pink tongue, man.
He just slipped me
Pink
a
tongue.
couple of tickets just now. You didn't see that.
Yeah, Chris is gonna be there.
And then he's going to the big show. What's the big show, Jesse?
Which one? The freestyle.
Tell us
Yeah.
about the freestyle.
Oh man, 11 acts: Stevie B, Taylor Dane, Company B, Noel, JJ, Fad, Connie, Debbie Deb. I know I missed a lot, but that's
And
gonna
see,
be
already
a good one.
knows all these
Pretty
groups, and
Poison.
he remembers
Yeah.
all these hot groups that we used to play. They used to play all
Seduction.
this music. Some of the stuff they used to
Man.
play. They used
Yeah.
to play some. Go ahead, tell us about it.
I was thinking about just go ahead and just writing the songs. I've been writing and just selling them out there,
Mhm.
maybe for points or for rights or whatever, But I'm thinking like, well, maybe I'll never be able to go on tour or whatever.
But
Some of my
here's-
songs might
Say
be played
never,
out there.
man.
Here's
Say
what we've
never.
been trying to tell everybody. Here's how this radio station works. Now, go ahead and do some call outs to all these country there, Jesse.
Wow, look at that. Germany, Ukraine, Peru,
Hello.
Norway. Who else? We got Canada, Genova, Italy, and of course everyone here in the United States. We got Amarillo, Texas, I assume. Las Vegas, Nevada is always on board with us.
You know who that is, right?
Miss Sherry Reed. Hello, Sherry. One of our listeners out there. So, like I said, they're listening to you right now. If they want, what kind of song are you writing? Within what genre?
That's glad you asked me that because I have a genre of funk,
Mhm.
Latin, jazz. I'm kind of melting it just like the United States. It's a melting pot. So it's an interesting concept that I have going for this CD, and hopefully maybe I can come back on your show and I'll be ready to you can support
Absolutely,
some
we're
of it.
gonna
Now,
throw
can we
it
put
on the
on the all night streamer?
all night
Do you want
stream.
it up on at night?
Sure.
You know why?
Yeah.
So nobody hears it?
No.
No.
Why?
Because they hear it on the other side of the country. They're all
See,
up.
Yes.
that's what we
First
want.
one, ding, ding, ding,
Ding,
yeah.
ding, you're the person that ever
Yep.
got that. You
On
know
the
that.
other
So,
side, yeah.
on the other side of the world, because especially with Johnny Johnson, he's out. He's one of our DJs here. He's out in in Russia actually, and they pay huge money to hear bands from not Denver, but from all over the United States.
Mostly
Yeah, and Europe is big on United States bands and music and R&B music. So just so you know, Sue Charles, she had a big hit out there, and she was going to go just to one nightclub, and she's going to sell out probably 2 shows, right? And then now she's got a whole
ended
tour.
up on a whole UK tour. So our listeners from the UK. That's a big thanks to her. She got us in
So did what's his name? He's going out there. Chris Daniels is.
Chris
I think
Daniels.
they're
And you
leaving
know
this
what?
week, aren't they?
One of our past guests, Mr. Harold Rapp, right now is in Japan
And I told him
doing
go ahead
his
and
thing
listen
out
into
there.
us.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe Kenny Mosley's in on
He,
that.
he,
Yeah, I think
he listened to us live stream out of where were we at? We were at the Cinco de Mayo. Jesse was doing
Fort
a live
John.
stream over there. Well, he was listening to Soul School,
Soul School. Yeah,
and
not
he,
Jamaica.
early in the morning in Japan because it's 10 hours ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was out there with Tony Alcarez and Robin Garcia.
You guys did that our USO tour.
It was a DOD tour we did back in '89, and yeah, you got to be up. It's like a day ahead. I had to watch the Broncos like Monday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. We had
Yeah.
well, I'm an avid Bronco fan, so hey Broncos, yeah, go Broncos.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? I'll tell you. Oh, you the Nuggets? I see you're wearing a
No,
Nuggets.
I don't
No,
like.
he
the-
doesn't
I don't like the Broncos.
Do you like the Nuggets?
Yeah,
But you know what? I'll tell you what. I will. You guys invite me back. I'll have some of this ready to go. We'll just show the world that we have some talent here. I would like to present it to everybody that can listen to it. And thanks to you guys, you guys make it happen.
You know what? Denver is home to some of the best musicians I've ever heard in my whole
Me
entire
too.
life. And you know what? The music scene here in Colorado keeps reinventing itself
and you got
every
Mote.
year. Every year.
Remember Mote? We're behind Mote too, all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Watts up there.
Uh-huh.
Mote is on fire right now. You've got One Republic took off out of Boulder,
Yeah.
Colorado. So there's some.
And it all comes down to the one group that has made the biggest name for Denver, and of course, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Don't forget, we may have him in. Jesse.
Yeah.
Word is, we may have to
Word
go to their
is.
hotel
That's
That's
fine with
great.
us. But
for an interview. Live. Got to do a live interview with Larry Dunn. So
Mhm.
we've got to do some with Gladys Knight and the Pips drummer, which is.
Mr. Daryl Woolfolk, yeah.
So we've been.
And of course, Michael Cooper of Confunction.
Mhm.
Lots of other stars come in through this studio, so make sure you stay tuned for that.
And you just got to hear one big star,
Yep.
namesake here in Denver, Colorado. That's Artie.
Artie Guitari.
Chris Herrera. Huh?
That's Chris Herrera.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Where's your sound effects? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say Herrera. And in this corner, Mr. Artie Herrera. So I hope you've been enjoying here on www.kuhsdenver.com. We had Art Herrera. Made it just in time, a little hindered by the downpour.
But
of
he
water.
rode in style.
Sioux
yeah.
Falls. Oh, there's
man.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I think I know who that may be. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I've got a friend up there, actually.
Isn't that where the presidents are?
Yes. You got Turkey.
New York.
We always get New York.
So we acknowledge all you people out
Did you
there.
park your car out there?
So this is a great, fantastic. That you guys have this set up.
Do you like it?
Yes, I love it.
Nice.
The show that you're doing here, I guess I didn't know you had put it on hold. That's
Yeah, you're one of our first from come back. So
I am so honored to be here.
Yeah, we just put it on hold for 1 week because Jesse had me all over the world doing everything. I
And
thought-
then the next week we were just so exhausted.
Yeah,
We just said, let's go home, man.
Yes, we were.
You guys
go.
You guys are great people, man. I appreciate you inviting me on your show here. I thank you from the bottom of my heart here. And I'll have some original songs for you. Let's push them out to these people out in Russia, Japan, Korea, all over the world. Sometimes that's what
Italy,
it takes.
Ukraine, Turkey, Romania, Croatia, Germany. They're all United Kingdom, like I said, is a big following of us. So they're listening right now. If y'all are looking for some songs to be written for you, hit up Mr. Art Herrera. Let us know what you think.
Broadcasting live out of Denver, Colorado, originating in Denver but touching musical lives around the world.
The
All day,
musician
every
hub,
day.
right?
And don't forget
Yep.
about what's coming up next there, DJ Jess. We also have,
What do we got?
we've got the Root and Root Show.
The Root and Root Show. But before that, we got syndicated straight out of Hollywood, California. We got the U.S. Top 20 featuring interviews with national recording artists. So you want to check that out. Like I said, syndicated straight out of California. So we got some good shows lined up here for you. Chris, want to thank you for coming in
You're
on
welcome.
this rainy afternoon.
Thank you.
Of course, like you said, you're always welcome here at KUHS. So when you get your music ready,
Crystal
just let us
Blue.
know.
Crystal Blue. That's
Crystal
the name of
Blue.
my CD that's coming out.
Crystal Blue Persuasion.
Everybody thinks it's that,
See?
but it's not.
Now I know why you play drums, bro, and never sing
Why?
lead.
Oh, that's right, Jerry. But you know, I was going to mention that. You play some good drums there. I like to hook up with you, Henry.
Yeah, you've always said that, but Jesse won't let me play no more. He says your arthritis is kicking in. You
Well,
have
he
to,
drops the drumsticks
yeah,
and then
and
he's
double
got.
beats instead of I'm
Takes
supposed-
him 10 minutes to rub Ben Gay all over
Yeah,
his
it's
body.
like,
So
and
he
then
doesn't.
if you don't bring my insure,
Yeah.
I can't cut it.
He's
Hey,
not.
you guys, I want to ask you a question. You guys think you want to do can you do the live stream at the June 6th afternoon show?
Was
You
that
guys-
Friday
we
or
were
Saturday?
thinking of that.
That's
yeah.
on a Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Sure. One thing, we have
Depended.
to have lots of lighting
Oh,
and
yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Have to have. Like last night, no Wi-Fi, no lighting
Oh, where was that at?
at the
Ted's
Chili Pepper.
place.
I
Okay.
hacked into the liquor store's Wi-Fi.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Well, that's nice. So, I mean, you got it done. You figured out things.
Barely.
You're the computer genius. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Gee whiz, yeah.
Instead of, let me tell you how that name originated.
It's a nice name.
People usually throw their computers down, kick them, and they say, God damn computer. Well, I said, gee whiz computers.
Whiz.
Now, FCC doesn't govern
No shit.
goddamn
Huh?
computers.
Bullshit.
They just bleep, blap, and bang.
Yeah, they do all that kind of stuff.
I tell you what, we would have been yanked a long time ago if we did. So
Like,
You're easing up a little bit. That's
like
fine.
I told you, Paul Chavez says, what the heck,
Gee whiz. By golly, wow.
you've been listening to KUHSDenver.com. It's your weekend boy DJ Jess, along with Henry Archuleta and of course Chris Art Herrera. We want to thank you all for tuning in. Chris, once again, thank you for joining us
You're
today.
welcome, fellas. Thank you very much.
Coming up next, we got the U.S. Top 20, so don't go anywhere. You can check out this live interview in person.
And before we go, a live interview, you want to say right here, the blue?
Absolutely. There's your camera saying hello, goodbye to everyone. Go ahead, send a shout out to anyone who you.
Right straight at the blue light, right on that long pole.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'd like to say to all the world out there and all the local family and everybody, we're all here together. So God bless everyone.
Yep, there you have it. Have a good Memorial weekend. I'll be back with you tomorrow, 10 to 1 with Canciones de Domingo, the best in New Mexico, Tejano y Colorado music. So make sure to check it out. Y'all have a good night. Don't drink and drive. If you're driving, stay in your lane. Until we meet again.